Yes, Ren. Yes, Ren. Keep those hips coming. Good. Deep corner. Make sure you're not cutting off any corners. And let's do a half circle reverse. And I just want to see a couple leg yields off the right leg. So rhythm looks suitable here. Ah, nice. Praise her there. So that was a nice, easy, smooth yield away from the leg pressure, quarter line. Now, out of curiosity, why did you cut that part of the ring off? Oh, I see. I would still use your short end to set it up, right? Use a good corner. If you get to the wall early, that's great, right? Then you've got... Now, which way is her neck there? So in the leg yield, we don't want any bend, right? Her body needs to be straight and parallel to the wall. So there she was looking far too much to the inside. Much better in her neck, Ren. Much better. Okay, one more just like that. Circle, Ren. I don't like your approach there. So that's kind of like you're just drifting onto the quarter line. I want to see a good corner here. Look for your quarter line and make a square turn onto the quarter line. That's ready. That's better. Yeah. And now your leg yield. Hips, straightness. Feel your outside rein. Outside rein, outside rein, outside rein. Okay, good. Second half her neck was straight. Let's see one more. Square approach. Good. Now feel both sides. Make sure she's not looking too much to the inside. Good. Okay, let's see your sitting trot. And drop your stirrups. What about your corner, Ren? So when you're schooling flat work, you know, things like the corners should just be part of your routine, right? It's part of how you're testing that your horse is obedient around your leg. You know, if you were working only on the inside track, that's fine, but you would create your own corner. Don't let them just drift away. Good. Across the diagonal, lengthen trot, stay sitting. Very good. Very good. Praise her there. Good. And go rising trot. Ride her into the corner. Good. Remember to check your diagonal. Good. And a 3-loop serpentine. So this is giving me a sense of whether the bend is part of your routine, whether she's willing and ready to accept the bending aids. Yeah, second loop is pretty small there, right? Because this last loop should take you all the way down to A. Okay, so you did a 4-loop serpentine instead of a 3-loop, which is all right. That's a good way to change direction. It just means you've got to do another one. 4 loops so that we end up back on the left rein. So turn now.
4 loops?
Yep. Yeah, remember your posting diagonals. Good, Ren. Little more horse. Good, Ren. Okay, sitting trot and walk. Good. We'll give you a little breather here, and then we're going to go into our bending, over-bending, inside and outside. Just want to start to introduce a little more of that in your rods. And for her, she tends to get a bit resistant, or she wants to, instead of bending, she wants to speed up, right? So as part of her training, we need to make sure that we are addressing the bend, that she's getting more flexible and more mentally flexible through the training. Okay, Ren, so for our bending exercise, what we're going to do is do a circle in the corner with true bend, and you're going to slightly exaggerate it, so I don't need her nose, on your boot, but instead of a normal amount of bend for the circle, I want it like 10 degrees more than normal. So circling with true bend, then as you come straight down the wall, I want you to go into the counter bend. Then you're going to circle in the middle with true bend, straight down the wall with counter bend, circle, and so on. Let's have on the short sides, she's just absolutely straight. So you're circling in every corner. In between your circles on the short side, she's going to be absolutely straight. When you come down the long side, she's in counter bend. You reach your halfway point, you do a true bending circle, get straight, and then counter bend the rest of the wall again. Okay? So this is asking you to do a lot of different things in fairly small parts. So I want you to make sure you know exactly which part happens where. Did that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right, yeah, so you're doing their circle with true bend in every corner. On the only time she's going to be straight through her body is going to be on the short sides. So in between your two circles, you're going to ride a straight horse, then you're going to bend, then you're going to counter bend, counter bend, true bend, and then straight on the short side again. Okay? So I'm going to add, before you begin, I'm going to add something, and I don't want this to complicate it. I want it to help. It should help, but it is one more thing to think about. When you've done your true bending circle, and you get here, and you're going to ride her onto a straight piece before you begin your counter bend, right? So you finish your circle. Here, I want you to sit twice, so that for the counter bend, you're posting with this leg, okay? And then before your next circle, you're gonna sit twice and switch your aids over onto your circle, okay? So this should help make it easier for her to do those different bends. And when I do that, like when I do, let's say, a serpentine or something, so I sit twice, and then on my first posting step, that's when the new bending leg is going to take over. Okay? Make sure she's awake to your leg. Make sure you're starting on the correct posting diagonal. Good. Okay, one more circle, show a little more shape, a little more bend to the inside. The outside rein can be half halting if she's speeding up, or if she's just poking her head straight in the air and resisting. Circle bend, so we didn't really get a true bend yet. Push through, push through, push through. Come, come, give her a spanking. Yeah, and bend that horse. Press your inside leg into her. Now we're talking. Good, Ren. Keep the left bend. Ready. Sit twice. Good, good. Keep the same kind of trot. Yes, good for you. Ribs, pressing her out around the left foot. Good, good. Ready. Good. See next one if you can be a little bit smoother and quicker about switching your bend there. So that your first posting step after you sit twice, she's in the new bend. Now circle again there because she didn't give you the left bend yet. Are you stealing my car? Good, now absolutely straight.
Oranges, right?
Yes, Ren. So get ready. When you sit twice, the new bend begins immediately. Way better. Feel that? So it starts to be like she just follows your body. That's right. Keep a little more fire in this trot. Okay, and walk break. So that was a complicated exercise and you did it really well. So this is great. I mean, this is kind of what I want to see at the beginning of our ride, is that we can, and it's not that I expect you to always get it right. I mean, there's going to be times like, you know, teaching you shoulder in, we're probably not going to be like, okay, I got it, right? Carry on. But with things like this, when I can see that your understanding is there, you're able to also multitask, switch things around. Very good to see. Oh, you're so fit, Blaze. Okay, just walk her for a sec, and we'll do that on the right rein, which might be a little bit harder, right? A little bit harder for her, and she gets a little stuck in her body. And then we're going to move into some pull work and jumping work. But again, this is part of her training, part of her necessary training is working on trying to get her more flexible in her body, because that's a bit of a weak spot for her. Okay, let's go to the right. So same exercise. Good start. Keep the energy. So we're just going to do straight on the short side. So sit twice again. Little more trot here, Ren. She needs to be in the working trot, right? This needs to be working through her body. Yeah, try to keep your outside rein a little more stable. One more circle. Push the trot a little bigger. That's it. You could also make your circles a little bit bigger, right? Because we're working on the bend, not the tightness of the circle right now. Outside rein is too floppy. Circle again. So when I look at your reins, I need to see straightness through both reins. Feel both sides. Press her ribs out. One more circle. We still haven't really gotten right bend. Work your inside fingers. There. Good. And go straight. So she argued about it, but you got much farther along that time. Okay, do the middle circle with true bend, and then remember to counter bend on the next piece of the long side. Come on, go. Circle again. She totally died on you when you left the wall. Working trot. Good. Straight, sit twice, counter flex. Right leg keeps her straight on the wall. Good, Ren. Press forward. Don't let her die out in her trot. That's better. Absolutely straight. Make your circles just a little bit bigger and stronger in the trot. That's right. That's right. Circle one more time. She was counter-bent by the end of that circle. See her right eye, inside eye. Good decision. Excellent. Press through the ribs. Work the right fingers. And work this inside bend again as soon as you switch it over. Strong, big trot. Good, pretty good. Use a little more space if you can. Right, we don't want the circle to be making it too difficult for her. We want the circle to be the invitation to the bend, and then you're actually overworking the bend. Push through, push forward. Ren, I want to see your circles bigger. Okay, I've mentioned that more than once now, so show me something different than what you've already done. There we go. There we go. Now absolutely straight. And we're getting somewhere, and she gives us the feedback through blowing her nose. Big, round, overbent circle. Work her round the right leg. Work your inside fingers. Work your inside fingers and feel the outside rein. Press, press, press. Good, good. Ready? How big can you make your circle? You might have to go around a jump. Good, that was okay because you kept it really active. Good, Ren. Yeah, you can feel how it's just harder this way. She's stiffer this way. Good, Ren. Really good at the end of that last circle, where she started to come around the bend through her body, through her neck and ribs. Overdue here. Overdue. Think leg yield. Get her off that inside leg. Yes, Ren. Good job. Okay, and canter. Good. Circle there. Good. Now in the canter, we're just going to go on the inside track straight. So we're not working bend here. We're just riding a straight track and a rhythm. And then at the end of the ring, I want you to circle and work the right bend. Good. Think about keeping a little bend in your hips, right? Not sitting too rigid. Circle one more time. Work that. Keep your circle nice and big. Good, Ren. Good, Ren. Push it through and go straight up the inside track. Consistent beat. 1, 2. That's okay. Just go straight up the inside track of the ring. So that means not on the wall. Good, and then we're just doing one large circle with right bend. Good, lovely, and she entered the circle with right bend that time. Okay, and back to trot, and walk and praise her. Good girl. So we could do the same exercise that you did in the trot and the canter, but the level of difficulty is way higher in the canter, right? Because then, and on an educated horse you could certainly do this, but then you're dealing with basically unbalancing them in the canter, which is going to possibly create a lead change, right? So then you're working on holding your lead while you're counter flexing them against the lead you're on. And we could maybe do that down a whole long side and work on it, but it's too hard to be flipping it back and forth all over the place, right? She's not quite there yet. Good, let it out, please. Okay, super, let's just go on the left. We're gonna do the left lead canter, same thing. Big circle with left bend, straight down the inside track, absolutely straight. Circle with left bend, and straight. And I liked what I saw that when you went straight, the canter didn't change. You kept a good rhythm.
Stop it. Stand up.
Circle one more time, Ren. I want to see a little more curve through her body. You're good with your outside rein this way, though. That looks good. Nice. Good. Get ready for your straight inside track. Good, I like the hip bend. Start the left bend before you start your circle. Work her around the left side. Yeah, good run. Wonderful. And back to trot. That just reminded me of the very first time I saw you and her in that indoor at Twin Creeks. Twin Creeks. And, you know, we could barely even canter one direction, right? And she was literally bouncing off the walls, like smashing you into the wall the one direction. She was so hard to turn. I think it was going to the left, wasn't it? I can't remember now, but man, she's come a long way. And now you can circle her in a good, correct bend both directions and hold a rhythm, which is big success.
Must be all that fine, high-quality coaching she's been getting.
Oh, yes, that's what I was after. That's why I mentioned it.
Okay.
Fishing for compliments.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
you know, it's just interesting to be able to track the progress, right? And to think back to how far you've really come with just being systematic and putting the time in. And okay, so we're going to start on the right. And I want you to canter, pull, jump, pull on the right rein. Actually, you know what? Let's be nice to her and do it off the left first. That would be kinder. So you're going to come through this gap, pull, jump, pull. Through the gap, pull, jump, pull. Do that a couple times. Depends how she jumps it. Make sure you're jumping squarely in the middle. After we've liked that a couple times, then we're going to come same thing on the right and come through the gap after. So you need to make sure, again, that your bending aids are working, that she doesn't think she's going there and jumping straight down the line, but that she knows she's curving through the gap here. Okay. I want to see the same canter you just had in your canter work that you just showed me. That was excellent. So that's an appropriate canter for this exercise. And actually for all your jumping today, right? Good. So you make sure you've got a nice contact, you've got a rhythm that's staying consistent. That is the key. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Good. Right, and so out of that rhythm, she can be a little long or a little short. Good. Now she lost just a little bit of energy back here when she was pooping. Look now at your jump. Keep the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep that. Good, Ren. Good job. Okay, trot a change of rein, and we'll do the same off the right. Now that is the same poor approach that I gave you some grief over when we were doing the leg yields, right? So you can see how it's the same issue that arises whether you're doing flat work or jumping, which is why we practice our flat work so much. Good, much better approach. And you're actually basically at the same distance, but she was lined up straight and she was able to contract her body in a better way. Think about the right bend into the canter here. Look to your pull early, wait to turn. Beautiful, beautiful, good. Right bend, lead change, keep a little oomph in her canter. So next time we do that, Ren, simple change now. Next time we do that, I want to see the lead change here. Okay, so even if you need to open your inside rein as you close your outside leg. Ready, and lead change. Good. Good. One more time. Make sure you're looking and counting to the pole. Sitting quietly, keeping your legs. Good. Ready? Lead change. Good. Okay, let's go back to trot. So the right side is harder for her, where you better make sure you're holding up your end of the bargain, right? Especially with the track. You could feel coming off the left, even though your distances weren't perfect, it just felt easy, right? Like she was like, oh, no problem. Coming off the right, she's not as sure of herself, she's not as athletic through her body, jumping off the right lead, and so it makes your job a little bit harder. So, we're going to continue to jump off the right for our exercise today. So, I'm going to keep this pole where it is, just straightening it. Pull, jump, 6 strides, and jump again. Okay? So you're still cantering in. Now this is your landing moment. So the next stride when she steps over the pole is your first stride, right? Land. 1 is going to be on the other side of the pole. Keep counting down to 6. Okay, any question? You good? Okay. Love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And the next time down the line, we'll just have her just a tiny bit more forward, so you're not long coming out. That was a beautiful approach, Ren. Same again. Looking early, waiting to turn. Perfect ride. Good for you. Okay, let's walk and praise her. Very good girl. Okay, Ren. Same ride, nothing changes. We've added a little bit of height and width, nothing major. You just need to have that same good 6 strides you had, your leg support, your good position. I want you to think about keeping your hips a bit bent. Now I guess there's a chance she might be silly here and you might have to ride her to it a bit harder, right? But we still want to get you staying in a little more neutral position over your jump so that you land with your hips bent, your hands down in front of you. And then you're going to be able to stay with a bigger jump better than if your tendency is to get open in the air. And this is something I've been working on myself. So I know from experience that my tendency to open up in the air has made it harder. And when I trust that I can close my hip, the jumps actually don't feel as big. Good. Hips bent. 3, 4, 5, 6. So do you feel there how you got behind her? As we come again, you just need a little more canter down the line. Like the canter you have now would be perfect. And then keep your leg on and keep your hips bent. Good. Too much canter down the line. So as I mentioned a week or 2 ago, I'd rather have you make that mistake, right, where you do the right thing too much. So now we have to find kind of the happy medium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Right leg, lead change. Good. So the right leg was needed there because did you feel she was starting to lean into her turn? And if she's heavy on the inside, let's make a circle here, Ren. Press her off your inside leg. If she's heavy through the inside of her body, it's too hard to get the lead change. Straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. We wouldn't want to be any closer than that, right? That's a good deep distance. You don't want to push her too deep. So think of a steady beat down the line. We need to keep her in that happy medium. Steady, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aha, so halt, 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 halt. She just ran through the jump.
That's a wee short.
And back up. So that one's been kind of building for a while, right? Where it's like a little too much canter, a little too much canter, a little too close to the jump, and then she just runs through the jump. So here we need to have her not so deep, right? That's where your 6 turned into where she wasn't really cantering and she was long. So then you got a better canter and she was deep and okay. But then every time she was deep, she was kind of like rolling the hill again to get there. So that time she made no effort at all to back herself up. Now I'm going to make this a little bit taller and maybe that will help her back up as well. But you also have the responsibility of measuring your steps, right? The canter can't get so big that she ends up through the jump. Okay, so I want you to think this time about shorten the first couple steps and then probably the 6 is just fine. What's happening is she's jumping in and just kind of rambling on down here. Okay, so now you're going to find the same canter, but you're going to land and wait. Okay, you don't have to go crazy. You just need to rebalance so that she's not running down a hill to the second jump. And then when she makes an error like running through the jump or running through your hand, then the halt is a really good correction, right? Because it's the opposite of running through. When you halt, she's got to set herself back. Right leg, don't let her lean on you. Keep the beat of your canter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, soften. Good. And that was much better, Ren. We'd much rather rebalance early in the line and be able to soften out of the line than having to wait at the end. Let's do that again. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now she jumped that quite well, so let's circle and praise her. Good bend, Ren. That work's paying off. Push her up off your right leg, though. Don't let her lean against you. Good, and trot and walk. Good job. So she jumped it really well that time. I felt like you didn't really get a good rebalance back there, though. Like she made a good effort, but she had to try harder than, you know, if you were a bit more accurate, she wouldn't have had to shorten and try so hard here. But we're going to give her a break for trying that hard. Okay, so let me make this a little more fun here. Okay, so we're gonna do the pole jump pole again on some other jumps as well, and it's just a nice checking in with rhythm to help make sure that you're not getting too slow or too fast to your jump, that you're riding to the pole, steps over, jump, steps over. So we're gonna do our line in 6. Then you're gonna come through the corner, part way down the wall, and do a roll back turn inside of these jumps. So you're not jumping anything, you're going down the wall, turning back inside the jumps, and doing a lead change. And then we are gonna do the diagonal, vertical, pole jump pole. And then we'll do the next diagonal, which I think maybe we'll do the next diagonal without a pole and just see how we do. Okay, so does the roll back down here make sense? Yeah? Hello. How are ya? 7.
That's what I thought. I was really nervous though.
I meant to ask you, did you change his halter?
Did I? Sorry?
Change his, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I was like, uh-oh, we've lost his really nice halter.
No, I did that because I was like, outside is so wet and gross.
Yeah.
There's going on.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I was so nervous about coming. There wasn't going to be anyone here.
Yeah.
Just because I don't ride with anyone here.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's going to be so sad.
Yeah, no, I'll be feeding and stuff tonight too, so
I figured
I'll be
somebody would be
around.
here.
Yeah.
I figured.
Okay, so line in 6, teardrop back to the corner, or roll back to the corner, all the way around, long diagonal, rhythm, pull, so you look to the pole when you're counting your rhythm, right? And then the jump falls into place, and then out and around to this one on the same kind of canter that you had there. So think about sliding your outside leg back so it's already there before you squeeze it. Good, Ren. Okay, I like your canter. Now remember, you're gonna land and just give her a couple little half halts. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Try not to lean back before your jump. Now you're gonna look and use this little bit of space here. Rhythm to the pole. Excellent. Make sure you've got your leg closed between the pull and the jump. And same kind of canter here. Good, and really good working leg, right? She was a little unsure. You helped her out, you supported her strongly, and then she jumped the stink out of it. Really good. Big pat for her. She jumped that like a real jump. Good. Good. The single vertical there, I felt like she just didn't quite push off the ground very well. So I can't talk. This is when I need to eat something. This is what happens. Can't quite push off the ground very well. Okay. So she got to the pull fine. It was a little bit short for her, but fine. And then she just kind of skimmed over the jump, right? She just didn't push very well. So that's where I was like, make sure your leg is on between the pull and the jump, right? That's like where you need to help her just a little bit.
You want some chips? I got some Pringles in the car.
Really?
I'll go get them. Hang on.
Yes. Awesome. Oh, this way, this way. Pringles are probably really annoying to eat while you're being microphoned. You know? The YouTube crowd's gonna be like, no. Yeah, exactly. Now, just as a thought for your rollback, I think it's going to be just a little bit easier for you if you make it happen here, right? Use these jumps as kind of like your barrier. So you come down the wall, you're going to make your turn here, staying inside the jump, and then I want you to push her over and get the flying lead change. Okay? So you've kept your energy nicely through the turn. You've got your right bend, right? That's going to help make sure she doesn't slip. Right bend, straightening, left leg, lead change. Oh, Shane, you're awesome. I was just saying to Ren, Pringles probably aren't the best choice for while you're being phoned. Yay. Healthy athletic snacks. So setting that right bend is going to be really important, right? If you can get that right bend before you enter your turn, it'll make you that much more balanced. Right, and then you've got your moment where you're straightening her up with your left leg, and then leg on the outside is going to cue the lead change. It's only going to work as a flying change if she's got enough energy directed towards the wall. And then the outside leg is going to shift that over. Okay, off we go on the course. Nice, nice. Confirm that this is the right canter, that she's not leaning on your right leg. Little energy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And better job staying with her jump that time, Ren. Now be strategic and use your space. Yes, nice bend. Looking up. Left leg over. One more leg to come, good. Rhythm count. Nice. Lead change, right bend, rhythm to the jump. Beautiful ride. Beautiful ride. And what a good jump. Now left bend right away. So that anytime you're entering those turns, you're working like your flat work. Very good, Ren. Big praise for her. Good rides. And you're doing a really good job of staying in your body, you know, not getting excited, not letting it all out the front, right? Staying in your body, staying focused, keeping yourself mentally organized. Very good to see. It's really good to be able to do that at home because, of course, we're tested at the shows, right? There's much more stimuli and distractions and stuff to think about, and you've got your own expectations and the expectations of others, and you need to be able to stay in your good mental, calm, thoughtful, organized place so that you get the best result. And I think that that's, like again, if we talk about Brian, because I use Brian as an example because you know him, right? If we think about Brian, like I think that's one of the reasons he was able to excel so quickly, is because mentally he was very disciplined. And like when he's helped me, either with lessons or with riding horses or whatever, he's so systematic and so like he just doesn't move on until the problem he's dealing with is addressed. Right? So then it's just those building blocks that help him so much. Because as you know, there's no shortcuts, right? If you don't learn how to shorten your canter, how are you going to ride to a skinny jump? Right? And that kind of thing. So if you don't learn how to bend left and right, how are you going to make your inside turns in good balance? Right? And how is your horse going to do that? Because she's looking to you to be her guide, right? And through systematic training, the horses start to, just like us, they get good habits and they start to know the drill, right? But we have to help make sure that they're developing in the right ways.
This is a good commercial for Pringles. I can hear them crunching.
Next sponsor. Okay, Ren, we're going to do our same course with one addition. After you jump this fan jump, I want you to, like as you're jumping the jump, be looking at the white pole, and you're going to do a bending track and jump the white pole. So we're going to do that just as a pole for now, and then I'm going to build a jump there. Okay? Okay, we'll just start over, Red. And it's not a terrible mistake, but she was just a little bit not paying attention. Just walk a sec while I reset this jump, because it's got a few component parts. Takes a second. Stay. So she jumped, she got crooked before the cross trail. Did you feel that? And then because she's crooked, her energy is not going all one way. So she just lands like she lands with less energy than if she jumped it straight out of the same distance. Right? If you think about a hose, when you turn on the hose, the water needs to just go forward, right? You've got leaks in your hose and the water starts to go different ways. That's kind of what happened there. Okay, so we're going to start again. If we like it, you're going to carry on and finish the course as well. Good, Red. Make sure you like your canter, straight and directed. 3, 2, 1. Good, much better. Good effort. Now organize. Stay inside the jumps and inside the pole. Outside rein finishes it if needed. Rhythm count. What a good girl. Bend right. Get your canter rebalanced. Look at the pole. Awesome, and that worked perfectly in the 5 strides, which was what I had planned. Wonderful. Okay, good, and you were pretty slick about that turn. So speaking of, what was the theme of our warm-up? What's that? Uh-oh. You've jumped too many jumps. Now your brain is mush. I thought our theme was bending.
Yeah.
Right?
I meant
He's like, yeah, totally. That's what I meant. Okay, so now we're testing. Does it work? Can you exact that skill when the jump is on the line? Okay, good. So we're going to finish, Ren, with jumping this off the left, then your vertical on the diagonal, and then your bending line, your fan jump, 5 strides to the vertical here. So, what's that? Yeah. We're going to leave that. She jumped the oxer really well the last time. So we're jumping this once by itself, so it's not a total shock when she turns and it's there. So that once, then the diagonal to change rein, and then the bending line. So come around and catch that again. Now what did you think about your canter the whole way there? Okay. Now that looks like a canter that you've set and stuck to. That's much better. Stick to it. Good ride. Right bend. Look. Good job, Ren. Now she jumped it pretty far to the right.
I didn't want to push it by pulling her in.
And exactly. And if you had pulled, she may have run past it.
Yeah, I had that feeling. She might have just
So what you needed to do, just finishing here, like here you just needed to recover your shoulders a little bit quicker, landing off the jump. And then you need to make sure this leg and both your hands are kind of finishing the turn, right? So that your right leg is stronger than your left and your hands have shown her the jump, right? So that she's not coming over here. Okay, big pat for her, and let's just do our bending line one more time. We're gonna see if we can jump it straighter, more in the center. So again, you don't want to change your whole track. You just need to finish your track here with your outside leg. Remember that awkward bending line we did a couple weeks ago or a week ago? Can't remember now, where you jumped the one and then you had like 2 strides to turn to the other one and you had to really put your outside leg on. So that's what's happening right here, right? You have to really put your outside leg on to jump this one straight. Little more horse, rhythm. Okay, praise her. She jumped it really well. So there's a little bit what we call first fence syndrome, right? Which is what happened on your last course over this one too, which is like you hadn't really chosen your canter, you didn't really have that good beat. So then when you're kind of playing with it, like you said, often you don't end up with a good result, right? You don't want to be experimenting with your canter on the way to the jump. Any experimentation that happens through the transition. Maybe you need to circle if she's a little behind the leg, whatever it is. You know, maybe if she runs through you need to halt her. Whatever the experiment is happens then. So that by the time you're turning to your jump, your canter is already established.
Everything that you or anyone else that you are seeing or living, everything that is being lived by anyone is in response to the story that they are telling. Period. That's all. The story they're telling, the way they think, the way they feel, their moods and attitudes. You are your point of attraction. 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 And if you want something to shift in the story and the way it manifests, you've got to start telling the story in a way that shifts your emotion as you tell it. That's all.